So today, lads, we're going to be reacting to ESPN's mock draft for the 2025 NBA draft. So we're going to be looking at, again, everything here. We're going to be looking at, the lottery and then kind of scrolling through after that. But yeah, as of right now, my prediction is going to be, I think Cooper's going one, fairly obvious. Like, I don't think there's been, like, obviously, Wemby was wasn't as obvious number one pick. But, like, I don't even know. I think this might be more obvious than Wemby that he's going number one. Like, I actually don't even know if if he's a more or less clear number one overall pick than freaking Victor Wembanyama. I'm not joking with that. Like, he legit might be a more obvious number one pick than Wemby. Either way, though, let's take a look and let's keep going through this. So, we've got the Wizards taking Cooper Flagg. While other prospects have seen their production decline in conference play, he's emerged the best player in college basketball. He has a chance to cement his legacy at Duke with a Final Four run. And it'll be interesting. It'll be mad if he goes back. Do you guys think there's any shot of that? And like, I mean that. Do you think there is any shot of Cooper Flagg going back? I still think there is close to a 0% chance, but is it a 0%? Like, I mean, like, is it zero or is it close to zero that Cooper Flagg ends up leaving? Ends up staying. I'd say it's zero. The Wizards are active during the trade deadline, using their flexibility to stockpile draft picks. Yeah, I mean, at least the Wizards are smart. Dylan Harper going number 2. Yeah, I don't mind that for the Pelicans. The Pelicans getting a Dylan Harper would definitely help them. I think with the way VJ Edgecombe has been playing recently, I don't think VJ Edgecombe is going to be a number 1 pick or a number 2 pick or anything, but like, I think VJ Edgecombe is at least starting that conversation. Ace Bailey going 3 to, again, not a bad player to get in there, number 3. I like Ace Bailey's shot. I don't know if I'm undervaluing Ace Bailey or he's just not going to be anything special, because it's just, for me, it's like he relies on shooting over people. He is a shot maker, but he's just big and hits shots over people. So I'm like, it's a tough one for me to fully judge Ace Bailey, but still, I don't mind that. VJ Edgecombe is somebody that I think is really playing his way into he's playing his way into those top 3 conversations. His defense has been spectacular for the entirety of his college, but like, now we're starting to see not only is his defense really good, his offense is starting to pick up. As you can see, it's 57% true shooting. It says here he bounced back from a slow start, several exhilarating performances in Big 12 play, hitting 46% from threes in his past 10 games. And I watched VJ Edgecombe over the summer. Like, VJ Edgecombe to the Hornets is the perfect fit, because he's going to be a high energy, good defender, is going to jump out the gym, is going to be a highlight film. Imagine him catching lobs from LaMelo Ball. Like, I think he's the absolute, and I mean this, the absolute perfect player for the Charlotte Hornets. Like, if the Charlotte Hornets can manage to get him, it's been a successful draft. It's been a real successful draft. Because, like, I saw him playing as some of the best players in the world over the summer at international play, where it's not easy. It's really not easy. And some of the plays he made, like, I almost saw him he almost dunked on someone for the free throw line. Was it against Spain? He just took off for the free throw line in game and almost dunked on somebody. Like, I'd never seen anything like that with anyone. And then obviously VJ Edgecombe was doing stuff that I did not think, not that I didn't think was possible, because obviously it was possible players have done it, but I didn't think we'd see it from a player this young. And if he's starting to shoot well, obvious. Giacosionis is a good player. Like, no, he's nice. Like, he's somebody that is 6'6", has that ability to create a little bit off the dribble. He's a really good passer. his shot is not good. Is not great though. Like I watched him a little bit at Barcelona over the summer. Like I watched little clips of him playing because obviously there's a lot of these players that were in these mock drafts, the likes of him, Hugo Gonzalez, Yegor Demin. Of all of them, I actually thought Gonzalez was the best when they were over in Europe playing those Rising Stars games. And ironically, because Gonzalez chose to stay and play with Real Madrid, he's going to go much lower in the draft than some of the other players. But again, look, everybody makes their own decisions. Con Knippel going 6th, though, to the Brooklyn Nets. I still think that 6 is so much of a gassing it on Con Knippel. Like, I understand he is a really good shooter. I understand. But taking Con Knippel over the guy that's right under there going to the Chicago Bulls in Malawach. Taking Con Knippel over Malawach. And I understand, again, shooting is important. It might be like a more immediate need shooting. But still, Malawach. Like this guy is 7'2"-ish. Long arms, can jump out the gym. Like I rate Malawach so highly. Like I think him at 7, he could in the right system. And I don't think the Bulls is the right system. He's shooting 76% true shooting. He's one of the best defenders. He's one of the better shot blockers. And Chicago got the San Antonio Spurs to lift their rights to this pick. Previously top 10 pick protected. In the De'Aaron Fox and Levine trade. Like, man, imagine if the Spurs had Malawach to pair with Wemby. Imagine the Spurs pair Malawach with Wemby. That would be crazy. But, yeah. Him going to the Bulls, he is just a great shot blocker. He's a freak athlete. Like, again, he's someone that has played at the international stage, which I probably put a bit more stock in than most people. But I liked him for South Sudan last year. Didn't see a crazy amount of court time, but I still thought he was quite good. Yegor Demin going 8 to the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't know if I like that one because the Portland Trail Blazers don't need another ball handling playmaker. And I get it. He's 6'9", but he can't really shoot. Like. He's still, though, he's almost like a unicorn type. This is a player that you just hope works out well. And for me, Yegor Demin is, and I even said at the time, like, I was not high on him. Even when he was being mocked at 2 at the start of the year, because I watched his Real Madrid team last year, and Hugo Gonzalez was their best player. So, yeah, I don't really know about him at 8. I just don't think it's the right fit in Portland. I understand the team taking a 6'9" elite passing point guard, like, who has all the potential in the world at 8. But, like, I don't think it's the right team to go to. Like, I would not mind him going to San Antonio. But again, even though a bit of a lack of shooting, running him as a kind of, well, that team actually just wouldn't be able to shoot because of Stephon Castle as well, to be fair. And De'Aaron. Jeremiah Fears, another point guard. And I don't mind him as a player for the Spurs. Do the Spurs go for the point? An ideal scenario for the Spurs is if they get the 9th pick, I do see like a Con Knippel falling to them. Like, that's what I think is probably going to happen with the Spurs. Is I think Con Knippel's not going to be taken that high, and I think he might fall into their lap as a like shooter, Dalton Connect type from last year. And I think that's really what the Spurs need short term anyway from the draft. But it will be interesting to see what happens. Derek Queen, a center. And the funny thing is like Derek Queen might have been the number 1 overall pick if this was 15 years ago. And if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't mind it because they need some bigs. But like, he is genuinely one of the best like interior bigs we've seen in a long time in college basketball. And it's funny, the coach was like, if he was European, oh, is it the coach was like, if he was European, he'd be the number one pick in the draft, and I'm like, man, there's been good European. He's a 6'9", 6'10", back to the basket big, who's not a freak athlete, not an unbelievable shot blocker, and doesn't have any shot outside of 15 feet. So no, I think 10 might be gassing it for his archetype, but I think he could be effective. I think he could still be effective. And with a team like the Thunder who need bigs, I don't mind this one. And he's much more of a big than a Chet Holmgren if you're struggling like just strength wise. So Trey Johnson to the Rockets via Phoenix. The Rockets getting a bucket getter, but like Houston they're getting a bucket to not use him. You just know Ime Udoka does not play young players, or say does not tend to like to play rookies. Like if there are players that he trusts more, he will not play the rookies. Like we've seen with Reed Shepherd. Whoever the Rockets draft is gonna get nothing. Like if I was the Rockets, and you get a lottery pick, man, attach it to Reed Shepherd, and if you don't want to pay Jabari Smith, like attach it to Reed Shepherd, and whatever young players you don't want to pay, and go get a star. Go with a star. You're struggling now this season. Like I wouldn't make this pick if I was Houston. You've got the Spurs via Atlanta taking somebody, taking a big from France. I know very little about this guy. In fairness, I need to look up more about him. I know very little about him. So, obviously, it said he's from Slovenia. He's responded spectacular moments of defensive end, being one of the most versatile players in class, ability to cover ground the perimeter. Okay. Leading. Wait. Yeah, I was very confused. I was like, that is not a French team name. It was like he's playing the Adriatic League and Euro Cup. He's only been playing basketball for 3 years, and it's zero high level experience. Okay, so that kind of makes sense, like him being in these drafts if he's just players shooting up. Because to be fair, I did not know much about BBALL Daily before the draft. Like other than I watched a lot of Victor's games during the season, and it was only like towards the end that BBALL was really starting to come into his own, even at Mets 92. So this is always an interesting pick, taking somebody who's only just taken up the sport recently. Like, it could work really well, or it could be a disaster. The Atlanta Hawks taking Lee McNeely, an absolute sniper. A sniper. Like, he is going to be one of the better shooters. I actually think if the draft plays out the way it does, and Colin Knippel's not there, the Spurs might take him even higher. But he's just going to hit shots. He's going to hit shots. And the Hawks need someone to hit shots. There is no... Like, Nolan Traore was expected to be the 4th pick, and he has not been playing great this year. Like, look, he's not been horrific. He's not been great. But they do kind of... Do they need like a high usage rate, not great shooter? I don't know if they need a player like him. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm not against it if they take him. If you're asking me for your point guards playing overseas, Ben Saraf Ben Saraf is easily the best. Like, I think it's not even a particularly close one. I think Ben Saraf is a top quality player. Like, I think he's going to be a guy in the league. Like, he's somebody that I thought like was to be fair, he was kind of almost shooting upboards. And then it just kind of stopped. The Ben Saraf thing just kind of stopped. He was shooting upboards, and then it was like, oh, maybe not. But yeah, obviously Nolan Traore, he had so much hype coming into this year, but obviously has not been the greatest player in the world this year. Hugo Gonzalez at 15 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. How many picks did the Thunder have? Like, you can't just make all of your picks. But he's a bucket. Like, he is a bucket. Like, 16 per game over the past 6 contests. And by the way, I'm just putting it out there right now. He's getting 16 minutes per game on a team that was giving Dennis Smith Jr. DNPs because he was out of shape. Like, he was playing over Dennis Smith Jr. So that has to be taken into account as well. Like, he wasn't playing in college where, oh, he's playing no minutes and people are surprised about that. He is playing in a league where Dennis Smith Jr. is not really playing. So that has to be taken into account because a lot of people, again, they're going to undervalue the level of competition over in Europe. But yeah, so Danny Wolf going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Again, they need a big. Best pick and roll player being 7 foot and being able to shoot. So yeah, I wonder. It says Timberwolves weren't expecting to receive this pick at the time. I'm guessing lottery protected. But the Timberwolves getting a pick off Detroit and using it on a pick and pop big, not too bad. Well, pick and roll big and hit the 3. Not bad at all. Ben Saraf going to the Orlando Magic. I like Ben Saraf to the Orlando Magic. To be fair, I just like Ben Saraf as a player, period. So him going anywhere around 17, I think you are getting a steal. I think in general you're getting a steal with what you're getting. He's a good scorer. He's been significantly better than Nolan Traore. He's bigger than Nolan Traore, and he's not the greatest shooter, but I think he's got more shooting potential than him. Then you have got Colin Murray-Boyles. Colin Murray-Boyles to the Heat. He's a perfect player for Miami. He is. He's as good as he is, he's an unbelievable defender, cannot shoot the ball. And Jesus, South Carolina are 0-10 in SEC play. He can't shoot, but he's a really good defender. I don't mind him at 18. And especially for Miami, he's going to work hard. He'll fit in. He'll be good. And I wanted Miami to take Ryan Dunn last year. Did not think Khalil Ware was going to be available. So I was delighted with that one. I thought Khalil Ware was going to go in the top 10 in last year's draft. But he'd be a really nice player to have. He really would. Noah Essengay to the Jazz. Yeah, go for upside. Honestly, yeah, go for upside. If you've got nothing else, go for upside. Because you need it. You are tanking. You can get elite upside. Essengay has that potential. He's young, he's big, he's long. He's can't shoot at all, but for me, this could be almost like your Tidjane Salon pick. Salon has more potential, but Essengay could end up being one of those guys that goes up the draft boards because people just see the potential. Will Riley to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know. I don't know about this one. In the first round at 20, I don't know. Asanul going to the Thunder. Man, how many picks do the Thunder have in the first round of this draft? It's a really good pick for them. It's a really good pick. How many good freaking picks are the Thunder going to be at? They can't just keep getting away with this. I'm sorry, they need to ration out those picks. There needs to be something against this. They're playing my league. They're absolutely playing my league. Really good pick, Asanul. He's a really nice big, can pick and pop. I would consider taking him over Derek Queen. If I was them, obviously they're taking, it's their pick as well that he's mocked. And I'm I'd probably take him over him. Says maybe he can be a little bit more of a modern player. And again, not shooting the best from 3, but I think I'll bet on the jump shot. Drake Powell to the Pacers. And again, I don't know. At this stage of the draft, I'm I don't really know about somebody who these players are going to take. Is there any player that I'm really kind of shocked at where they're going? Caravan going in the first round, maybe. Jace Richardson, okay. Where do they have some of these players in the draft? So Alex Tuhi's fallen to 36. Is Rocco Zakarski, is he still in the draft? Like, I would consider taking late first, taking Zakarsky, as much as he's struggling. Unless he's pulled out of the draft, just because he's a freaking monster. Like, you're not going to find somebody physically, like, grown man-esque. And, like, he's starting to play better, so surely Zakarsky. Yeah, there he is, 51. If you're getting someone with the potential of Rocco Zakarsky at 51, I just think he's just he's a monster. Like, he is an absolute monster. Like, he is 7'3", big guy, so super young. And when he grows into his body, he could be a bully in the NBA. But yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. That's the video. I'll see you guys.